Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see outside, it snowed like a mother. This is just one drift in parts of the driveway. You can actually see it is just absolutely covered. I was in really one of the worst parts for that bomb cyclone or cyclone bomb. Whatever winter storm we just had. So I just got done plowing. I got to go to the gym, so that's why you see me in this apparel with some headphones around my neck. But yeah, it's crazy out here. As you can see, I mean, this drift is it's pretty dang high, and you can see the driveway is just an absolute mess. I got the four-wheeler out, and it's been a beast. But the topic of today's video is how do these BFG K02 tires work? And as you can see, they have some good tread on them still. I've had them for a couple years now, and probably 15 to 18,000 miles on them, and the tread is actually in just great shape. As you can see, not really a lot of wear on them, so that is one thing that I want to start right off the bat with and say that the wear on them really isn't that bad. They seem to be wearing really well. I get them rotated and balanced, obviously, every a few thousand miles, and I think that's a big thing, is keeping your tires balanced and rotated frequently, because when you get to a little knobbier tires, these aren't that aggressive, they're not like mud tires, but when you get to a more aggressive tire, ATs or MTs, you really need to keep them rotated and balanced just so they don't wear awkwardly. And then once they wear weird one time, or start to wear weird, and you try to balance them and rotate them around, they just are never the same, and they wear down a lot. So that's a big thing, but I'm really impressed by how well they have done. These tires right here, I just put on the Jeep. These are the Nitto Terra Grappler G2s, and they are awesome. Really big fan of those. So I'm going to kind of be comparing the two of them together, or side by side, because I have been driving the Jeep a lot. And with this snowstorm, I just drove my truck and the Jeep today, once we were out and about this morning. So I have a bit of a a good feel for how they perform, and I really think they're two of the better tires on the market as far as big names go. In the truck now, and you can see, look how high the snow is just on the sides of the road here and all around me. It's just crazy how much snow we got. And this is my road. This is kind of a private road, and we have to take care of it ourselves, as the neighbors and myself have to take care of it, and it's pretty crazy. So this snow is super wet and heavy, being that we're kind of close to springtime. Anybody that lives in areas that get snow knows what I'm talking about. This stuff sucks because it really, when you drive on it, just compacts into like a slush. It doesn't exit your tread pattern. It doesn't really work well in any scenario for you. So these tires, as you can see, I'm going down a pretty steep hill, and I'm just kind of lightly on the brakes, coasting about 10 miles an hour, and not sliding at all. No problems at all. Somebody went off the edge there already. Really not bad. I mean, look at my neighbors. Look at the size of those drifts right there. It's just crazy. And look at that. really just nuts. And like I was saying before, the snow is so heavy, so it's just kind of the worst type of snow to drive in my opinion, just because it gets really icy quick. Your tires don't really allow that snow to exit from their tread, and it's just tough on your vehicles. So again, here is another bit of steep part of the road I'm going through. I'm just kind of lightly on the brakes, coasting down. As you can see, really gentle, easy going, and no issues. So of course, if you're gonna drive like a maniac, you're gonna slide around, you're gonna lock up the brakes. But if you just take it easy, these tires, and you let the tires work at their best, and you don't push them too hard, and you just kind of, like I said, be responsible and drive how you should be driving in these conditions. These tires have not let me down once. I have really ripped on them going up like this hill, and just in some other areas with a lot of snow, and they really haven't let me down. As you can see, they don't slide. Trust me, there is a lot of snow on that ground and ice, and it is it is slick, and they didn't slide at all, so no issues there. Really, really impressed how they perform overall in the snow, which I think is what a lot of people are purchasing these tires for, is snow. You know, a lot of people aren't doing Baja stuff and traveling in the in the sand and doing mud stuff all the time, right? A lot of people are just driving on asphalt or concrete, and if you live in a place like me, you got to have nice tires because you got to drive in the snow. And so I think for that purpose, they are very, very good tires. Other than the, you know, snow and dealing with that kind of stuff, as far as the tires performance goes, the way they perform on just regular type roads, and of course I'm in town, and they've been plowing all day and the sun's been shining all day, so they are clear. They're just wet, but overall really, really not bad compared to how they were yesterday. You can see the truck, I mean, no hands. It just drives really, really straight and really smooth. I think actually it rides, you know, maybe better with a bit of a, you know, better, stiffer tire on it. The way, at least how it feels, I think feels better on the road than it did with the stock tires. Very happy with them. I don't have any vibrations, no, you know, like not clunky or anything. I know I've driven some vehicles, and again, these aren't crazy aggressive, so don't be too worried about that. You know, they're not mud terrain tires, but I have driven some AT tires, and they've been really rough and loud, and just kind of they just feel weird on the road. They're you know, their mannerisms on the road are just kind of weird. So overall, I'm really happy with these. You know, I've taken this truck on several road trips now that I've had these tires. So the speed limits on the interstate in Wyoming are 80 miles an hour. So I was cruising 82, 83 miles an hour on these tires, no problem at all. Super smooth, keeps the truck straight. I mean, right now we're going 60 miles an hour, and as you can see, I mean, I'm not bouncing around. There's no vibrations, no weird noises, which to me, that is a huge thing when you're putting new tires on a vehicle. You don't want to change the way it drives stock. You know, and of course, if you're doing a big lift and big tires, it is going to change things. But for me, I wanted to keep this truck pretty simple, pretty stock, but also get a lot better performance out of it. And I think these tires have really done that exactly. So overall, I'm very happy with their performance on just regular kind of daily driving, you know, dry roads, highway cruising, all of that kind of stuff. So the next thing I want to talk about is fuel mileage. And, you know, with my last tires, I want to say, you know, cruise around town, which honestly is what this truck ever does. I take it on road trips every once in a while. Usually it's just driving around town. I used to get around 15, 14 and a half, 15 and a half, cruising through town and just doing my daily stuff. I have noticed that has gone down a little bit, and I'll show you here in a bit my last 400 miles, which the last 400 miles has been me just doing daily stuff in town. I haven't been on any road trips, no highway cruising, just my normal commutes. And as you can see here, it's at 13.3. I do want to mention there's been a lot of four-wheel drive driving, kind of a weird tongue twister there, and there has been a lot of trips up and down the mountain, or where I live at the base of the mountain, which is a bit of a climb. There's been a lot of trips I've taken up the hill lately, just doing some stuff. So that is a little bit lower, but I have been averaging probably 13 and a half to 14 through town, which is a bit less. Nothing that I'm really too mad about, and I don't know if I can blame that all on the tires. That could just be kind of, you know, how I've been driving over the last while, or who knows what's all, you know, there's so many different elements to fuel mileage. But in my opinion, as soon as these tires went on, I did see a bit of a drop there. I did go slightly wider, and obviously they are a lot more aggressive than the stock tires are, which, you know, a little bit of loss in fuel mileage. Again, not that much, 1 mile per gallon maybe, that loss, but the gain of performance in the snow and just overall, well worth that little bit of loss in fuel mileage. So I want to compare them to the Nitto Terragrappler G2s. Honestly, they perform about the same in my opinion for our application of driving in the snow, driving, you know, in the wet, like rain or slush and stuff like that. They both perform, in my opinion, about the same. I would buy either one of them, no doubt. If this was my main issue that I had to get through was snow, ice, and rain, if those were the conditions I was dealing with, these two tires, the BFGs and the G2s, are definitely something. Those are the two that I would purchase as far as big name brands go, if you're going to go with like an all-terrain tire. Peerless Tires on CY Avenue here in Casper, Wyoming. Go down there and check them out, and they'll take care of you. I get a bit of a good deal down there, and I'm very fortunate for that, because tires are super expensive and nobody wants to buy tires, that's for sure. But I want to make the price comparison. These tires on my truck were about $200 more than the G2s, and the size is almost identical. Mine are 275 65 18s. The Jeep is running 265 55 20. So very similar tire size, and performance wise for what we use them for, very similar as well. And the G2s were a bit cheaper. I believe these BFG K02s are just so expensive because everybody wants them, because they're on the Raptor, and it's just kind of the thing to have, and they do perform great. I will 100% admit I really like the way they perform, again, for the applications I use them for. But the G2s, honestly, I would put those on my truck next, I think, if I was just going to go with another all-terrain. These are a bit more aggressive looking, and I think they might look a little bit better on trucks, but that's kind of tough to say. I haven't really seen those G2s on my truck, so that's kind of a tough thing to say. I do think these have a little bit more aggressive sidewall, which I really like. Overall, very happy with them, and I just kind of want to make a quick update because my video of me putting these on got a ton of views, and I think that everybody's really curious about them and how they perform, and I figured in the midst of this cyclone bomb storm, what better time to show you how well they perform in the snow. And overall, I'm really happy with them. So with that being said, I hope this quick update helped you guys, and if you are interested in purchasing these tires, I highly recommend them. I have not had a single issue with them. There's nothing that I have complained about, and overall, I'm just very happy with them. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe out there. Take it easy.